Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ilham Fajri Rahman. First of all, I will discuss about global warming. As we know, global warming is a serious problem, which is were well in country developing and country developed. Global warming is a reason by activity human which working way aware or not aware. Global warming is a process to increase body temperature, average atmosphere. For example, sea and land. States body temperature global settlement will to cause alteration which other except to climate, surface, seawater, states weather, and alteration total. Result global warming which other influence crop agriculture and destroyed kind animal. All energy source which can be grown originally with sun. Apart that energy inside from shortwave radiation, including apparent shine, when this energy to hit ground surface is changeable with shine to make hot with to warm up earth. With temperature average large 15 Celsius, earth in fact already hot more 33 Celsius with greenhouse effect. So that ice will to shut all ground surface, but on the contrary result total that gas already more in atmosphere global warming result to become. To protect the health and economic well-being of current and future generation, we must reduce our emissions of hard-trapping gases by using the technology, know-how, and practical solution already at our disposal. The Earth's climate change in response to external forcing, including variation in its orbit around the sun, volcanic eruptions, and atmospheric greenhouse gas concentrations. The detailed causes of the recent warming remain an active field of research, but the scientific consensus of the recent warming remain an active field of research. But the scientific cause of most of the warming observed since the start of the industrial era. This attribution is clearest for the most recent 15 years, for which the most detailed data are available. Some other hypotheses, departing from the consensus view, have been suggested to explain most of the temperature increase. One such hypothesis proposes that warming may be the result of variation in solar activity. None of the effects of forcing are instantaneous. The internal inertia of the Earth's oceans and slow responses of other indirect effects mean that the Earth's current climate is not in equilibrium with the forcing imposed. Climate commitment studies that even if greenhouse gas were stabilized at 2000 levels, a further warming of about 0.5 Celsius would still occur. The prediction of climate change due to human activities began with a prediction made by the Swedish chemist Svante Arrhenius in 1896. Arrhenius took note of the Industrial Revolution then getting underway and realized that the amount of carbon dioxide being released into the atmosphere was increasing. Moreover, he believed carbon dioxide concentration will continue to increase as the world consumption of fossil fuels, particularly coal, increased even more rapidly. His understanding of the role of carbon dioxide in heating Earth, even at the early date, led him to predict that if atmospheric carbon dioxide doubled, Earth would become several degrees. However, little attention was paid to what must have been seen to be a rather far out prediction that had no apparent consequence for people living at the time. And Hughes was referring to a potential modification of what we now call the greenhouse effect. Shortwave solar radiation can pass through the clear atmosphere relatively unpended, but long-wave infrared radiation emitted by the warm surface of the Earth is absorbed and then re-emitted by a number of trace gas, particularly water, vapor, and carbon dioxide, the color atmosphere above, because on average, the outgoing infrared radiation balances the incoming solar radiation. Both the atmosphere and the surface will be warmer and then they would be without the greenhouse gases. One should distinguish between the natural and a possible enhanced greenhouse effect. The natural greenhouse effect causes the mean temperature of the Earth's surface to be about 33 degrees C warmer than it would be if natural greenhouse gases were not present. This is not for the natural greenhouse effect. This creates a climate in which life can thrive and man can live under relatively benign conditions. Otherwise, the Earth will be a very fake and inhabitable place. On the other hand, an enhanced greenhouse effect refers to the possible rising of the mean temperature of the Earth's surface above that occurring due to the natural greenhouse. Such a global warming would probably bring other, sometimes deleterious, change in climate, for example, change in precipitation, storm patterns, and the level of the oceans. The word "enhanced" is usually omitted, but it should not be forgotten in discussion of the greenhouse effect. Except to crash which resulted, there are two crashes which already straight we not aware. We can see in television that in big city very much empty region, but the region used to project. So region to plant is general free, very less tree, which we to see run very less even lifestyle, them more like to ask carrots than to run away. I think that all. Thank you so much.